the award staff.
Yes, y'all. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. What it do, party people, in the place to be? Man, in the world of sports and entertainment, we got to give it up to Judas and the Messiah, Mr. Uh, uh, Mr. Daniel Kaluuya winning his supporting Oscar. Huge. That's awesome for him. Also got to give a big shout out to Van Lathan on the short documentary and the folks over at that did the costume for Ma Rainey. That is awesome. Congratulations to all of them. Also, once again, I mean, this team is constantly just winning stuff. They win Grammys, they win NAACP awards. Got to give it up to Jeff Robinson in representing his artist, Her. He did it with Alicia Keys, and he's doing it again with Her. I'm so proud of him and their team over at MBK Entertainment. So big shout out to them in the world, and also in the world of the business aspect of what's going on in the world of music is right now, Blackstone, which is a private equity company, just bought E1 Entertainment $335 million infused into that company.
Wow.
So, what's that saying once again? And I keep preaching this narrative is that intellectual property is where it's at. Intellectual property, what that means is whether you are producing music, whether you're producing content like these NFTs, these artwork where you can put it on the internet and sell it and auction it. That is the key. You got to own assets. As you own these assets, people are wanting them, and when people are talking about it, and you are the owner of it, you gotta tread lightly. There's options that you can do and still taking advantage of your assets, whether you want to lease it. People forget that they can, you don't have to actually sell the assets that you own, such as whether it's real estate, whether it's gold, whether anything that you can lease it, you can, um, you can get port pieces of it. But bottom line, try to make sure you own the majority share and dictate how you want your money to be monetized or your assets to be monetized. Also on the sports end, woo wee, I got to give it up to my man, uh, the well, all the smoke. Those guys are doing their thing. They got Shaq coming up this week, so this week Thursday. So check them out. In addition to that, the playoffs are going to be starting up soon. My Knicks are in fourth place. My Nets are in first place with all the banged up injuries. So it's going to be an exciting playoffs. LeBron is supposed to be coming back. Football news, Trevor Lawrence is getting some nice endorsement deals. And another football player is now requesting that all of his compensation be in cryptocurrency. Woo-wee! So, just pay attention. These are the power moves that people are making. So, as you are progressing, or if you're looking to teach your kids what they can do at an early age in order for them to progress, check out some of the power moves that these folks are making. And speaking of power moves, I want to talk about my partner in crime. Today is his daughter's birthday. He got a whole bunch of kids. So every other month is a birthday. Shout out to Kevin Carr with Pro the CEO, my brother, my partner in crime. He's celebrating his baby girl's birthday. So happy birthday. But one of the themes for Kevin is his philosophy of non-medallions. And with the non-medallions, it stands for champions. And the M in non-medallions is all about mental toughness. And so who I have today, with everything that's going on with COVID. We're getting vaccines. People are starting to see the light. We can come outside now, I guess. Today they talked about that now if you have the vaccine, you may not be able to um, you don't have to wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask no matter what. Common sense says I'm gonna wear a mask. And if I'm traveling, uh, side note, but one of my boys, James Cruz, put a picture up. James Cruz, a big manager producer for Buster, Violator, and now he has his nephew, CJ, who has the number one hip hop record called Whoopty. He had a picture of people in the airport all spread out, mask and everything. And then when they get into the plane, they're all, they shoveling everybody in and they're wearing masks. And he's asking, where is social distancing then? Common sense isn't common. Right? So I'm not going to be flying anytime soon because now the cattle calls are back again. It's not back to that spread out stuff. So just be mindful. Um, and we're going to touch on that because today we have a naturopathic doctor and we're going to share her story and we're going to share the story of mental toughness because sometimes when you're in pain, you got to you got to tap into a whole different source for you to deal with that pain, for you to get to that other side. And so when she was growing up, she wanted to be a cardiac surgeon. She studied hard. She got A's. She was second in command of JROTC battalion. She was president of Jack and Jill. You know Jack and Jill. That's that bougie stuff that the folks can get into. I'm from Brooklyn. We didn't have Jack and Jill. We had Ray Ray and Shanae. All right. But she was crowned Miss Calendar Girl, Miss JROTC. She was awarded the Howard Hughes Biomedical Honors Scholarship at Xavier University, which is the number one in placing minorities in medical school. So for all of us, that's at HBCU now. So, so for the folks that want their kids to be doctors, don't get it twisted. They don't necessarily have to go to Harvard. They don't have to go to Stanford, especially if they're not giving them the money. Think about Xavier. But anyway, I digress. So while she was there, she got good grades, and in her junior year, she became deathly ill. She was the second documented case of hepatitis A in the state, and doctors could do nothing for her. She had to wait until her body healed herself, and she had to do that for months. She was regurgitating multiple times a day, tired, no energy, wearing the same gray and white t-shirt over and over and over again, so much that it was walking to the washing machine by itself. She was staying at the third floor house of her aunt's house. And then her mother sent her a book of natural cures, and she actually read it from cover to cover. And then she convinced her aunt to gather some things, and she went to see the doctor again. All of a sudden, her liver function tests were normal. She was clear to go back to school and to work. And then she read the back of the book and she decided she was going to pursue a naturopathic medical degree. As a matter of fact, during that research, she found out that her dad had MS and he was in remission for 15 years. And the reason why was because he was under the care of a natural doctor, naturopathic physician. And that's when she chose to do so. So she earned her degree, her NMD degree from Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine in Tempe, Arizona. She was the founding VP membership and natural talker for Toastmasters International. She was the president of her class. She's also the Florida State Representative for Naturopathic Public Awareness Campaign. She's the Arizona Consortium of Complementary Healing Organizations Dream Scholarship. She's founder of that, was the recipient of that actually. She's in the Institute of Naturopathic Scholarship. She rotated family medicine residency program at Jamaica Hospital. before she graduated with the naturopathic medical doctor and was awarded the prestigious Daphne Bladen Award for her commitment to naturopathic medicine. Also, she was chosen to join the team at the Adamo Clinic and complete the first residency with Peter Adamo, the author of the New York Best Time seller, Eat Right for Your Blood Type. And she was responsible for patient care and education. She's also been active in public, meeting with senators, Congress personnel, CEOs of hospitals to help them gain understanding of the naturopathic licensure in DC. She's committed to voluntary work within her community, breast cancer walks, blood drives, B positive AIDS clinic, etc., etc. She met her soulmate in 2008, so she is happily married. She's taking, guys. And she participates in the 9-holers for Travis Point Country Club. And she's a concierge naturopathic physician. So she's able to take all of her knowledge and package that so that she can work from home before we were mandated to work from home. So welcome to the show, Dr. Samm Pryce and Power Moves. What it do?
Thank you so much for having me. Yo, you dug up a lot of stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Man, I haven't heard about that in a long time. You did your homework.
Well, we when we bring our guests are superstars. So
Wow.
You're a superstar.
Well, thank
so,
you. Thank you.
Thank
you for having me.
We got to show and prove, especially the fact that you went through so much to get to your degree, and that's such a powerful story.
Thank you.
So, how are you doing? How are you making up with the pandemic? How's your business been during the pandemic?
So my family's healthy. That's first of all. So we have all fared really well. No one has been sick. Nobody in my immediate family or people in other states that I love that are part of my family. So far we've done really well health-wise throughout the pandemic. My business has flourished during the pandemic. And I say that lovingly because I know that there are other people who have not flourished and who have lost their businesses and didn't do well. But I think that my practice was set up so that it was proactive and I didn't have to react. I was already doing telemedicine well before the pandemic. I was already set up with payment processors. I was already set up that I didn't have staff. It was just me. So I didn't have to let anybody go. I didn't have to apply for PPP. I didn't have to do any of that. And my patients were already used to communicating with me via text and video and email and phone. And so it was like life as normal for my patients. So my business was fine. And then as other practices closed, people needed physicians. And I was already set up. So I got a slew of people coming in because I was already set up, ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the next question then. So as it's funny, in my former life, I used to sell technology to doctors, and they were the worst people that made decisions when it comes down to business. I'm sorry.
No, you are correct. We are not taught business in medical school. You are so correct.
You are absolutely right. You are not.
We don't run the business. We don't run the business. I run my business though.
Right.
But most doctors don't.
Exactly. So what was that like, being able to create systems? Because in order to run a business and to be profitable, you got to have systems that you put in place so that you can focus on what you do best, right, which is give medical advice. But at the same time, you got your accounts receivable, you got to do the medical billing and the procedure codes and all that other stuff and the medical records, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. How did you able to do that?
I have failed many times, but as I fail, I fast, okay? And I learn from my mistakes. And I think the younger me, what to do right now, it would be to hire help faster, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that means I've gone through business coaching, I've gone through masterminds, I have accountability partners, I ask for help, and I hire what I don't need to do. So, as far as like social media and marketing and all of that kind of stuff, that is not what people are paying me for. They're paying me for, what did you say? Intellectual property, for what I
Property. That's
know
right.
up here, right? So I don't need to spend my time doing the stuff that other people can do. And so what I've learned to do, honestly, is to hire that stuff out. And I wish I had known that earlier, because earlier in my practice, it was me doing it, me doing everything. And that is
That's
a waste
awesome.
of my
Well,
intellectual
you know
property.
what? Speaking of which, we got to pay some bills so that they can pay our intellectual property that we're sharing right now. So once again, this is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We'll see you in about 2 minutes. Baby on In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. See you after the break.
Tampa Bay Politics is on every Wednesday at 11 a.m. with Angela Birdsong. Tune in right here on In Touch Radio.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
All right, we back. This is Power Moves on In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. We have Dr. Samm Pryce in the house, the naturopathic doctor. She's doing it up, and she was talking about the importance of, if that's not your forte, outsource it. Outsource it is important, because protect your time and protect your, intellectual property. So focus on what you do best. And so with that being said, tell us, folks like you, when we think of naturopathic, we think of expensive. Right? Like, that's the reason why people go to the regular doctor, just like, does my insurance pay for it? Okay,
Right.
I want that, right? So how is it that you're able to grow your business when people have the conception of, it's expensive to see someone that's good, basically, right?
It's
So
exactly what
talk to
you
me
just
about that.
said. It's the perception of the fact that it's expensive. So, if I may, I
Yes.
consider our current healthcare model, or our medical system, honestly, what we practice right now is called sick care. So,
Mm-hmm.
when you're sick, then you get care. What I practice is health care. I care about your health, and I want to keep you healthy. So honestly, I feel like health is wealth, and you cannot generate wealth unless you are healthy. I feel like that when people come to me, and they are investing in their health, they're not paying for it, they're investing in their health, right? Because what I'm doing is prevention, and I'm also taking care of you when you're sick to help you get better. So it's an investment. I also consider myself as part of what I call my patient's legacy building package. So when I think about healthcare, I think about the fact that you can will that down throughout the generations, right? So we think about genetics, and I practice nutrigenomics, which is how you use food as medicine to actually change the expression of your genes. And so we know certain things are hereditary, this, that, and the other. But some things, just because grandma had diabetes does not mean that you're going to get diabetes. It's all about your environment and what you learn. And so if we're teaching our children, and if we're teaching our brothers and our sisters exactly about naturopathic medicine, chiropractic medicine, the fact the dentist, the fact that you need mental health care if that's what you need.
Oh, I think I lost you. That Elon Musk beta testing Starlink is not quite there yet. Hold on. We are frozen. So let me just kind of recap while she's still frozen. So in other words, it's very important for us to recognize that at the end of the day, it's an investment to actually get your body in order, because I love what she talked about, and when she said we can now change the genetics because that becomes a legacy. So what is genetics, right? So the genetics is the internal makeup code that passes on from generation to generation. You know, certain the way your makeup, the way, not your makeup that you wear, but the biomechanical makeup of your body is that it passes on from generation to generation, whether it's, you know, the color of your eyes, and you know that, you know, most of your kids might have brown eyes or blue eyes or blonde, whatever case may be, because it's already in your genetics. But just because you might have a gene that's malformed doesn't mean that you yourself cannot change it through your diet and through understanding nutrition and making some adjustments. So I love what she's talking about that. So pay attention to what she's saying. And so she is back. Mr. Elon Musk, let me get that Tesla. You better give her some Tesla money.
Heck yeah, he's driving me up a wall with this. Seriously. So, but it's okay. We're still testing. It's all good. So, I hope that I was clear with that, and the fact that you can pass that down when I think that what you guys missed at the back half of what I was trying to say is that, when you don't know that you have options, then you don't have the options. If that makes sense. If you don't know the options, then you don't have any, right? So for people, like 80% of the people that I see have cancer, and they don't know that they can send their blood off to Greece and know exactly what natural substances work. They don't know that they can send their blood off and know exactly which chemotherapeutics are going to work for them. If you don't know, then you take what is told that you're supposed to do. Okay. So knowledge is power. It's intellectual property. And so I am an investment.
Okay. Investment.
Okay.
So Miss Investment, then break down the economics of healthcare and how can people make the healthcare system better for them?
Okay, so this is a loaded political question, but honestly,
we don't care about the politics. We care about results. We hit her with the heavy question, and now she froze up again. You know, well, this is my time to promote my man, Chris Merritt. We went to NYU together. Check out his t-shirt, symbol, NYC. This is my King t-shirt representing. Is she back yet? Nope, she's not back yet. She's still frozen. You know, I hit her with the heavy question. She'll be coming back on again. But what it boils down to is, you know, at the end of the day, we trying to figure out, you know,
I'm
this
back.
healthcare system, there she is, she's back.
I'm
This
back
healthcare
again.
system, yeah, these healthcare systems, the way it's set up is for us to fail, in my opinion, right?
It
So
is
unless you educate yourself and you manipulate it for your benefit and
correct.
read every single aspect of it and understand your deductibles and
Correct.
how to and understand the tax laws, you will get lost in the system. So
Correct.
going back to you, Dr. Samm Pryce, because the question's for you. I don't got the answers.
I know. So what I was saying was one way is to do a flexible spending account or a health savings account. So that's money that you use to go to the doctor that you choose, right? So I definitely take flexible spending account, health savings account. Supplements can be paid for with those accounts as well. Oftentimes chiropractic medicine, massage therapy, acupuncture, those things that are preventative um, in my head are often you can use your flexible spending account for that. Not everybody knows about a flexible spending account or a health savings account. So, like I said, knowledge is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, let your money do your talking for you. Let your vote count. If we would start educating ourselves and who's representing us, in Congress, in the Senate, those type of areas, because naturopathic medicine we're not licensed in every single state. So it would be nice if everyone had the option of seeing a naturopathic physician just like they do any other physician. Now, I do telemedicine and I can see everybody all over, but wouldn't it be nice if you could pop into an office in your town that has a
Mm-hmm.
naturopathic physician? A lot of us don't want to practice in unlicensed states. I'm not scared. So,
That's right. That's right. So with that being said, right, how much of an investment can it be? Or I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, how do people determine what's a good amount that they should set aside for meeting up with a naturopathic medicine doctor, or what would you advise them, or what should be the approach, I guess, like what should they be thinking about, like help people figure it out, because I mean, what you're saying sounds great, but it's still, like you said, FSA account, health spending account.
mm,
um are there any numbers, like a good number to do every year, or
I would say 10 grand.
okay.
Yeah, that's good. It depends upon what health condition you have. So remember, the population that I'm seeing has cancer. So there's a lot more that goes on with cancer. So it might be a little bit higher. Um, so for me, I am 650 a month, or that's a little bit over 6 grand a year, but that's to have access to me at all times. I see my patients every single week. We run blood work every 3 months. You have access to me via text message, video, call, email, all the time. So I don't know I'm concierge. So that's a different way. Not all naturopathic physicians are concierge, and not all naturopathic physicians are $650 a month.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So I guess a general is maybe 125 to 225 per visit, but it's not a 15-minute visit. There's you're going to see that physician for a good 30 to 90 minutes. And then that physician is going to spend time reviewing what you all talked about to come up with some good answers for you and do research. And I only take 50 new patients per year. And the reason I do that is really to me to get to know the patient, to get to know their for me to have the time to research what it is that's going on with them and their health issues and what's going to be best for them. Not just, so in naturopathic medicine, we don't treat the disease, we don't treat the health condition, we treat the person. So each person is different. And so
Mm-hmm.
I go through a whole process of learning them. Okay, you don't do well swallowing pills, so I need to find liquids, or I need to find powders, or this, that, and the other. So it is a whole process for me when I have a new patient. And so I need to take the time to get to know them. I need to take the time to decide which labs are going to be best for me to order for them. And that might be a specialty lab. That might be sending it to Greece. That might be sending it to the Netherlands. You know what I mean? It's all of that, really digging deep and understanding, and also other artificial intelligence, bringing in AI into the healthcare system and customizing things for them. So that is the reason why I'm priced the way that I'm priced, because they're getting undivided attention from me.
Well, on that note, we're getting undivided attention from our producer because we got to pay more bills. So, but I love what you said. We're gonna circle back to that. Once again, this is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect on In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. See you after the break in about 1 minute.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This brutal weather that we experience every year in Florida leaves hundreds of residents needing repairs to their property. If your home has been damaged or needs remodeling, leave it to the professionals. Call Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing at 813-238-6197. That's 813-238-6197. Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing have been serving the community for 43 years. Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing is a proud sponsor of Jazz at Miss Connie's house.
All right, hey, we back. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. And we going into the power segment with Dr. Pryce, because she was talking about her prices. The price is right. You know, when you, the price is right when you talking about health. But let's talk a little bit about, you know, that scenario when you were deathly ill. Where did that strength come from for you to overcome your health crisis?
So, you know, I was so sick. I think that I was out of my mind, and my strength definitely comes from my prayer life. But I was taught that, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, that you need to do, I knew I needed to get better. And when the doctor was like, oh, you're going to be down for anywhere from 3 to 9 months. And I was in my junior year, and that's a really crucial when you're planning to go to medical school. It is a really crucial time. I was like, I got to do something, because I can't sit here for 3 to 9 months. It's just not going to work. It's going to derail my plans. And I'm a type A personality, and that just doesn't work. So luckily, my mom me this book, and I read. And I think that reading is key to a lot of things. I think, like I've told you, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And I was like, there's got to be something in here that I can do that's not what they think. And, you know, got some herbs. started me on my journey to naturopathic medicine. I literally convinced my aunt to go get it for me. And I did it. And literally within 2 weeks, I was so much better, and convinced her to take me back to the doctor. And they were like, I was so excited to tell them all of the herbs that I had done and whatnot, because like he said, 3 to 9 months. It was 2 weeks later. I was like, yo.
Wow.
He poo-pooed the idea that it was that. He told me, oh, it's because you're young and you're healthy. Well, 2 weeks ago, you told me I had 3 to 9 months. You know what I mean? So it was it definitely got me to thinking, yo, there's a different way to do medicine. And my body is amazing. Our bodies are amazing. And so it came from just reading. And, I've always read, I'm always absorbing other knowledge and surrounding myself with other people who are knowledgeable. Conversations are different when you're at a wedding. Loving the fact that, I could actually heal my own self.
That's huge. That's huge. So healing power, what does that mean to you then? And how do you develop it?
So my favorite topic. So in naturopathic medicine, we call it the vital force. Like, may the force be with you.
That's right.
But it's called the vital force. And I think in conventional medicine, they call it the immune system, but it's so much more. It's so much more. And so in 2019, so I do wellness retreats, international wellness retreats. And in 2019, the whole theme around my wellness retreat was, you have superpowers, right? So Avengers are out, and this person has this power and this person. Well, we all are superheroes. We all have superpowers. We just don't know them, and we need to develop them. And our superpowers really help hone in our vital force. And those superpowers that I have like kind of honed in on and really explained to my patients is, one is the power of prayer. I am unapologetic about the fact that prayer can change your outcomes. So prayer is one. Mindset. So there's definitely a brain gut connection. And oftentimes, because I am seeing patients with cancer, I see patients that have other things other than cancer, but this is a really great example. In the literature and in our studies, we can't find a correlation between stress and cancer, but stress depletes your immune system, and a depleted immune system thus causes cancer, right? So mindset, the way that you think about things, definitely plays a part in your health and your vital force. Sleep. I actually lecture internationally to other physicians about sleep. I'm a sleep medicine expert. It affects our mood, our anxiety, our depression, hypertension. It affects cancer. It affects fertility. So there are so many things that sleep affects.
So how many hours of sleep can I get away with? The minimum. What's the minimum I can get away with? Can I get away with 6?
No, you can't. So men specifically, with 6 hours or less of sleep, have the testosterone of somebody 10 years their senior. So if you're 36, then your testosterone level is somebody of 46. Sleep is super important, and it's free. It's free. You know what I mean? So this is.
So how many hours of sleep do I need to get?
7, bare minimum 7, anywhere from
bare minimum 7.
Bare minimum
okay.
7.
All right, I can stretch 7. I can stretch 7.
Hydration is my next superpower. So water is key, and I don't think we drink enough, and we don't understand the importance of hydration. Diet, of course, so I have a mastery in blood type science, so I do nutrigenomics, and so diet is super key for me. I believe that food is medicine. And then, of course, movement. We don't get enough of it. And I don't call it exercise, because you can dance and people don't call that exercise, but that is exercise. So those are 6 key things that I think are superpowers that really we can control our health, and they're free. They're free.
But that whole water thing, man, when you start drinking that gallon of water, you got to go to the bathroom quite often. How can we, is there another way?
Not another way. But honestly, when you start hydrating well, and after you've gotten used to the gallon of water, however much, it's really half per day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, it's 100 ounces. If you weigh, I don't know, 100 pounds, it's 50 ounces of water per day. once you get used to drinking it, your body will absorb it and move it the way that it's supposed to move it. And it's not as bad. But when you first start, yeah, you got to pee. You got to pee. But it's so good. It is actually an anti-aging thing. So it helps with wrinkles. It helps with joint pain. It helps with retention, all kinds of things.
Okay. I'm going to get back to drinking more water again. I'll bring my gallon.
Cheers.
So what is the process for others that you can share to help neutralize the negativity when people hear of bad news, whether it's a bad diagnosis that they got, whether they diagnosed with cancer or they find out that they're COVID positive, they got pneumonia after the COVID and now their lungs are not working as well. I mean, there's so many things that, like you talked about it, when you get stressed, your immune system
correct
is attacked, or our vital force is attacked. I'm gonna talk your language.
I love it,
right?
love it.
That's right. We're gonna talk your language. So how does one really learn to tap into it so that they can neutralize that negativity? They can get out of it. Like, what did you do?
It's language restructuring and it's mindset. So it is instead of, oh my goodness, I now have COVID, right? It is restructuring it to say, oh, wow, now I get to show my family how I can beat COVID. Do you know what I mean? It's just restructuring it. Oh, so I have this talk with my patients who are recently diagnosed with cancer, and I have an opportunity now to be a testimony to somebody else. So their journey will be a testimony to somebody else, and that they have an opportunity basically to use it as an opportunity, as opposed to looking at it as a negative thing. We oftentimes have to talk about mindset. I talk about tapping, or it's called emotional freedom technique. It's where you're using acupuncture points and neuropsychology, where you're tapping on certain points and it's telling your body different things. So I love using different types of pulling in different modalities to allow them to change the mindset. I think that dispelling that negativity is really, really important, and mindset is so key, so key.
I love that you talk about that, because I am a firm believer in that as well. Like when you said, someone tell you something, you got to understand that it's your new challenge, because in life we deal with challenges every day. So this is an opportunity to, whether like thinking about running the hurdles, there's a whole bunch of hurdles that you got to race through, and you got to do it as quickly as possible. And it's not going to stop until you get to the end. Right. So you got to treat adversity in that same type of manner. Yes. But I like the fact that you talked about using different modalities and the tapping system. How do people find, we have 2 minutes before break, but where can people do research in regards to that?
To tapping? I would look at emotional freedom technique. The tapping solution is a great resource. I think his name is Nick Orton, Orton, and he's the one who I learned it from. But it's called a tapping solution. And his sister, I don't remember what her name is, but she oftentimes has videos as well. But you can go on YouTube and get, see some tapping demonstrations, people doing it. But I have found it very helpful for my patients, and my patients now, I will go through it with my patients one time, and then they now know how to use it when they need it. I liken it to that mom like me and my son, when he's done something that's like really driving me crazy and I'm in public and I can't smack him. 10, 9, 8. So I'm like, I'll do this.
You know what? You sound just like a Black mom.
That's me. So
usually I remember growing up, my mom would just straight up slap me in the 70s. It didn't matter.
Well, I try to be PC, but sometimes it doesn't work.
Well, speaking of PC, we got to go on break again. So we got to pay some bills, but let's tap into our healing party, people. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. See you after the break on In Touch News, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Hanging out with Dr. Samm Pryce.
Oh, Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the leg work for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay, call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida, grab a pen or sun down 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. It's a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
All you sports fans, tune in every Monday morning to listen to Mic'd Up Mondays with Michael Clayton. You don't want to miss this.
On In Touch Radio.
All right, we back. So we were just talking about the power segment and the importance of tapping in to the right mindset. But the one thing I wanted to also talk about is with your cancer patients that you deal with, and you speak of testimony, how when you have helped them get to their promised land, right? How does that make you feel, and how do they feel after you've helped them tap into their healing process?
I can't speak for them. I would think that they feel amazing, but to me, it is the best feeling ever. It is the reason why I continue to do what I do, right? So when you get that patient who does well, they get their PET scan and it's all clear, or their tumor markers are now, down even 2 points. You know what I mean? Every little thing counts. And what I have noticed, especially with doing oncology, is that 1 point matters. So 1 point over that reference range matters, and 1 point under the reference range matters. So it's the little things that matter. So I will have patients that all of a sudden this round of chemo, now they don't have nausea. That is a huge win. Or all of a sudden now they no longer have neuropathy, which is the tingling in their hands and their feet. That is a huge win. Whatever I can do to make this process, this journey for them better, more comfortable, because sometimes I'm getting fourth stage. It's about making them comfortable. It's about making it so that they're not as sick, so that their quality of life is still there, right? So it's not always that I'm curing. I'm sometimes making quality of life better as well. It is the best feeling, and I get so many lovely letters, even patients that pass away. I've gotten amazing letters from the family, like, thank you so much. My mom talks about you all the time, because remember, I'm concierge. And so it is just that hand holding. It's actually caring about somebody, knowing that somebody there is there with you in your journey. That's half the battle. So.
No, pun intended, but it is priceless.
It is priceless. You're going to make me coin that, and I'm going to have to go trademark it. So.
You might have to trademark it and get some t-shirts, right. I just want a piece. I just want a piece. I just want a
Yes,
piece.
you
You know, I
came up
make
with it
power
first.
moves over
Got
here.
it.
That's right. It's on a recorded line.
Right.
Right. So let's jump into this whole COVID thing.
Oh Lordy, I
You
knew
the
we were gonna get
doctor.
into this. I know.
You the doctor.
I
We're gonna
can't.
go
I
into
can't
this.
escape it.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna go into this respect segment. You the
Okay,
naturopathic doctor.
I am.
What are your thoughts about this darn vaccine, this pandemic?
So I am super duper pro-choice on absolutely everything, including the vaccine. So up until I think February or so, I was like, "Oh, can I curse? I can't curse. Oh, to the
No.
no. Okay,
Right.
absolutely not on vaccine." I was like, "There's no way. It's a virus. I can totally beat the virus." I had patients doing fine, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't need to take the vaccine. I'm not too sure about the testing behind it. It's too new. I don't know the technology, this, that, and the other. So patients are doing fine. A patient who had been fine, and then all of a sudden she started having really heavy legs and started having to walk with a cane, then a walker, then all this other stuff. Now, energy never came back completely. Like she's like at 80% energy after COVID. I sent her to the hospital and she was in emergency. She got admitted. She was there for like a week or two. They were doing all kinds of testing, running spinal taps, didn't know what was wrong. And as soon as it had been like a week, I was like, this is long, it's called long haulers. And I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but long haulers are the symptoms that are just, they linger. They just linger and they might be completely different from what you had when you had COVID. So sometimes with COVID, you can't smell, you can't taste, you have this awful cough. Fatigue is one of them, sometimes fever, right? But having the heavy legs and whatnot was not something she had, right? This is something that came on after the fact. And they were thinking, oh, does she have multiple sclerosis? Does she have this? Does she have that? And it started getting me to thinking, the vaccine does not prevent you from getting COVID. And I don't know if everybody knows that. Okay. So even if you get the vaccine.
I'm happy you said that because you're a doctor.
Right. Okay.
I have my opinion, and that's what I was saying, but I tell people I'm not a doctor. You got to do your own research, you personally, but I'm happy you said that. Oh, she froze up on us. Look at that face. It's classic.
Listen,
right, here she is.
Listen, somebody doesn't want me to tell you. So that's not somebody doesn't want me to tell you. Okay. So it does not prevent you from getting the vaccine. In fact, have a patient right now who got her first dose and a week later she got COVID. So, and I've heard these stories before. So don't think that it's preventing you from getting COVID. And I don't think anybody has told anybody that. I think that the general public's like, oh, let me get the vaccine, then I'm not getting COVID. That is not true. Okay, that is not true.
Right.
My understanding of the vaccine, though, is that if you get COVID and you've been vaccinated, your symptoms might be lessened. Okay, the severity is less. The reason why I chose to get vaccinated was long haulers, though, because we don't know what symptoms come from COVID after the fact. What sequelae, we call them sequelae. What sequelae can we have afterwards? How long does it last? We don't know what to do about it because it's still novel. And so I can handle COVID. I can handle the virus. I have proven that I have with several patients, right? That doesn't scare me. What scares me is not knowing the long hauler symptoms and how long that's going to last. That is the reason why I chose to get the vaccine. I'm super pro-choice. I understand why people are not getting the vaccine. Completely understand it. Individualized decision. So I have patients that are like, absolutely not. And I'm supporting them. And I have patients that have gotten the vaccine and I have supported them.
Gotcha. So in your opinion, as a scientist, right? Because you are a scientist. What tips would you advise to help people make the decision if they should get the vaccine or not? How should they be evaluating?
Risk factors. So are you a smoker? Do you have health conditions? For my patients, when COVID came out, we did Zoom videos for my patients as well as their family. And I went through the science behind. So COVID is part of something called the coronavirus. It's a family, right? So because I couldn't research COVID specifically, I researched the family that it came from. Like you got a distant cousin, so you got some genetics that are the same, right? So I did a lot of research. And what I pulled up 7 different natural substances. And so my patients, most of them are taking these 7 substances to boost up their immune system, whether they have the vaccine or they don't have the vaccine. And so those 7 specific ones are vitamin A, because it protects the mucous membranes, vitamin C, because it's an awesome antioxidant, and it's been proven actually now for SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19, to help prevent that and to help not cure it, but it helps with it. Vitamin D, because we know that research came out of the UK that about 4,000 IUs seems to be about the amount. If you're vitamin D deficient, you have more severe symptoms. So we want to make sure that we're boosting up your vitamin D levels. Elderberry is fantastic. It is antiviral, anti-parasitic, anti-everything. So it's fantastic. We do ask you to stop if you get diagnosed with COVID, the elderberry, just because it has a cytokine pathway in it and it can make that cytokine storm a little bit worse. Probiotics, because we know that 80% of your immune system is housed in your gut, and T regulator cells are in your gut. So I'm being a little bit scientific here, but it's almost like the T regulator cells are the brake that stops that cytokine storm that everybody's talking about. That's that inflammation that's going on and on and on. And so if your gut health is right, and so probiotics are really important. The other one is zinc, of course. And I think that everybody has heard lots of things about zinc. So zinc, actually, you have a deficiency if you can't smell and you can't taste. And that's one of the hallmark symptoms of COVID. So we want to boost up your zinc levels. And then melatonin. Melatonin actually has research with SARS-CoV-2, just like vitamin D and vitamin C right now. So melatonin also, and you have to take that at night. So I am supporting patients with the vaccine and without the vaccine by natural means, of course.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So as a woman of color, especially in your field, have you ever faced any type of disrespect, and how do you handle that?
Dude,
this is part of my
I had
respect
not
segment.
until Clubhouse. Okay. So I had somebody jump on my stage and was pretty rude, and he hopped right off, and I was like, okay, that was weird, but didn't think anything about it. And then we were on another stage with a bunch of different doctors. He hopped on that stage while I was in the audience and called my name out. And it was a white male physician, ER doc. And I couldn't get on stage to defend myself or say anything. And it was like this, come on stage, and then he out of the room completely. So luckily, Black female physicians are in a state now where we're starting to band together, and we're not taking it anymore. And so one of my sisters who was on stage was like, we're not having that. You know what I mean? So he was bashing not only me, but also naturopathic medicine. And she happens to be an MD. I don't remember what exactly her specialty is, but she was like, oh no, it doesn't matter the specialty. It's the fact that she's a female of color and she's a respected physician. So she defended, but me being me, I did send him a message because I caught who it was. And so I sent him a message and was like, we can handle this behind the scenes if you want. I was like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but I haven't had a response from him since. So.
Wow. Interesting. Well, Time goes really fast during these interviews and during this radio show. I had a blast with you tonight.
Too.
And so how do people consume you? How do they do business with you? And are you just limited to just cancer patients?
No, I am not. So I actually am considered the doctor's doctor. I have lots of physicians that are my patients. I see a lot of autoimmune issues. I see a lot of endocrinology, so diabetes, thyroid conditions, multiple sclerosis, lupus. I have elite athletes as my patients as well. So people who are healthy, that want to stay healthy, that's awesome too. Remember, I'm all in the business of health care. So you can find me on all social media. It's at Dr. Samm ND. So that's DRSAM as in Mary, M as in Mary, N as in naturopathic, D as in doctor. And then my website is the same. It's www.drsammnd.com. So DRSAMMND.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. And another great episode here on Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives, and doctors share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Only on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. We're going to see you next week. Baby, baby. We out.